Hello there. Thank you for joining me today here on Plan to Paint with me, Jim Sponseller. I hope you've enjoyed painting along these last several paintings, and if not, be sure to get out there and grab a paintbrush and canvases and give it a try. You'll find out it's really fun. So today, I've already prepared my canvas. Today we used just linseed oil. I didn't want my colors to be muddied a little bit with the titanium white that's in the liquid white, so just wanted to make my canvas wet so the paints will glide. And we've got our full palette out here today. So we've got our titanium white, phthalo turquoise, Prussian blue, lamp black, Van Dyke brown, alizarin crimson, some sap green, I've got some Prussian green here, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, cadmium yellow, and our bright red. So first off, we got to figure out where in our sky our sun is coming up at. It's going to be a sunrise. We're going to do a kind of a Caribbean setting, some islands, small islands with some palm trees growing on them, light reflecting off of the water. Looks like we got a little oil run here. We're going to clean that up so it doesn't roll off the palette. So to start, I am going to pick up just a little bit of titanium white and figure out where I want that sun to be. We'll have to decide if the sun's going to be fully coming up or just partially up over the horizon. But we definitely want it to be, we'll be a little bit off center here. And we're just going to add a little bit of paint in here. It's kind of a circular motion because the sun's round. So we're gonna. You can't really see much, but from there we're going to pick up a little bit of the cad yellow. We're just going to start adding in the color right around where we were. Again, kind of yellow, kind of little circular motions here. We're going to go back over top of that white, just kind of pick up the edge. And we'll come back over top of that a little bit later. We're going to go into pick up a touch of Indian yellow now. This is going to start to take our color a little bit towards orange. We're just going to build right around that edge. Kind of keep going around the edge, and this is going to fan out a little bit further. Across the horizon line. And you can see even when it picks up that oil, it's really thinning out the color. That we're going to pick up just a touch of the bright red. Kind of working into the bristles a little bit. And now we're going to go right into the crisscross strokes. And just kind of follow along that edge where the yellow stops and the oil sits. Starting at our horizon line and working our way up and around. You can see there's little bits of streaks of paint coming off the brush bristles as I angle the brush a little bit here and there. You want to work that back and forth. Get a nice even blend. We don't have too many of the streaks in the sky. We might add some streaks in with some clouds in a little bit here, but for now we want this to be nice and even. Then we're going to pick up a little bit of the crimson. Again, work that into the bristles. And we're just going to start on our edges. We're going to bring this down into the water. Some spare brushes sticking on my cabinet over here and I'm hitting the handles. That's what that little noise is. For the water, we want mostly horizontal strokes. Coming right back up to that horizon line. And we're going to leave a little bit of the white in the center as the light reflects off the water towards us and is lighter in the center. And back into the sky. Alright. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of Prussian blue. As the sky gets further away from the sunset, we're going to see little peaks of blue coming here. I'm going to go across the top and work my way down towards that crimson in the middle there. I'm going to clean off a little bit of the paint off the brush now. So I don't want to darken that crimson too much. I want to keep it fairly red. We just want a little bit of purple in the transition into the blue. So just on a paper towel here, a little towel, I'm wiping off my excess paints. And we'll start up here and we'll work our way back into that crimson transition. You see I'm picking up and putting some streaks in here. Picked up a little bit more of the Prussian blue than I had hoped. So we'll have to clean the brush off a little bit and blend these out. Yeah. With a dry brush, nice and soft dry brush, we're going to start at our horizon line and blend this out. I'm trying to stay out of the blue for now. Come across our yellow and blend out that a little bit more too. There's a bit of a streak here. And then we'll blend across the sky up into here. And nicely back and forth. Open up our sky a little bit here. Alright. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the original brush I was using, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of phthalo blue, phthalo turquoise, I guess would be a more proper term. I'm going to start down here at the corners. I'm going to work this in, coming in from the corners. Just a little bit more on the brush, do the same on this side. Going back to that sky brush, the dry brush we used for our final pass on the sky, we're going to get a little oil on there, help pull off some of the pigment color, dry it off pretty good. And we're going to do the same thing from the horizon line, work our way down, but going straight across only. And this doesn't blend quite as much as the sky because we've got motion out here in the water. We got this bar catching a little bit too much of our. All right. So now we are going to place a few little islands. So we're going to take a little bit of our Van Dyke brown, bring that down. A little bit of sap green. We want to make this somewhat lighter, so we're going to add some yellow ochre, I believe, would be a good lightening agent for this. We want these to be not so deep. And we're going to take a little roll, and these are just going to be little islands out here in the out in the distance. I suppose we should probably throw some clouds in that sky just to give it some more life. I don't always go in the proper order as I'm thinking about things, and I look back and I'm like, oh, well, we could have used a little bit of clouds in our sky. And so what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Hopefully pick up more of that color that we're seeing. Didn't pick up quite enough, so I'll go back through and add some color in here. We're just using the corner of the brush, a little bit of titanium white. By starting at the top and kind of working our way down, we're going to get more pink on the bottoms of our clouds. This one's going to pick up a lot of the yellow and orange. They're not well defined, so we're going to take a little bit of blue on one corner and a little bit of crimson on the other. Well, for the top clouds. Just going to go back in and work a little bit of this on top. especially these upper two clouds here. You can put as many clouds in as you'd like. Gives them a little darker edge, gives them a little more definition in the sky. On the opposite corner, we're going to pick up a little bit of that alizarin crimson and kind of do the same thing, but much lighter. Just kind of throughout the body of the cloud. Yeah, I need more definition in this one on the left over here. Then we'll pick up some Indian yellow. We'll do the same thing on this one. This one is a little bit lower. They're picking up more of the yellow light. Oops, that was good, Jim. Picked up a little bit more crimson than I needed. This one's sitting out here. It's picking up more of the orange. Back into a little crimson with that blue. Create a little bit of a purple top on these. We're going to take another dry brush. We're going to very lightly just kind of fluff the clouds a little bit. And you don't really touch the bottoms of the clouds when you do this. You want your bottom edge to kind of remain a little bit more stark. Just kind of lifting in a circular motion very lightly, very gently. And kind of, a lot of times, start at the top and work my way into the bottom. And these clouds are almost blending right into the background. And very lightly we're going to come across. Yeah, this one needs blended a little more along in here. You can see too stark of an edge. I'm going to pick up some blue, so it's going to add a little bit of purple in here. Let's see. Alright, we're going to go with that for now. We're going to go back to putting in our little islands. We'll just kind of scrape these right onto the canvas. Keeping the bottoms flat because the water level is obscuring it from view. Bring this all the way back down to the water. You can't have the edges sticking up. They have to end in the water. Now we're going to take our liner brush. We have to decide how far away these are. So we're going to take some oil. We're going to go into this same brown mixture and just pick up a little bit of color. So if you can see what I'm doing here, but picking up a little bit of that same island brown color. We're going to add in a few palm trees, and you have to decide how far away they are, how big these are going to end up being. So their size is going to determine distance for you. That one should have been a little slender, more slender coming in. You don't want to make them too pattern specific here. There's a couple that are overlapping each other. Add some variety in here. You can put as many as you'd like. Again, it's your world. You don't want to copy exactly what I'm doing here. You want to make your own little islands, how you see them in your mind. And I know it's kind of hard, not knowing coming into this what we were going to be painting, to have any preconceived idea of what the palm trees will even look like. A little taller one here. Give him a bit of a friend. And they're just kind of a bunch of them growing up in here. They don't grow clear out to the edge necessarily, because you have to have enough dirt for those roots to really take, or they would just blow right over. Alright, so we've kind of got these out in the distance. We need to give them tops. What we're going to do that is just take a little bit of a small fan brush. See if I can find my small one. There we are. I'm going to take a little Prussian green. Pretty dark value. Might even bring in a little bit of the lamp black into this. I want it to be a dark to add lights too, but I want it to be off in the distance, so I don't want it to be extremely dark, or we won't get the same proper leveling effect of values. So that's probably 2 right there. A little more of the green in. You can see what I'm doing here. Just trying to make a nice. Yeah, might work for our distant little palm trees. And we're just kind of taking little little branches off of these, so they tend to curve down. So we're using just the center little bristles on our brush. Kind of start at the top of the tree and kind of work your way around. And as you lift the brush just a little bit, it's going to take and put in that little edges of the leaves swaying out there in the wind. A little gap at my brush there. Got one back here, he's out in front now. You just kind of pull away. It's a little bit of a curve, kind of twisting your brush, just turning your brush a little bit in your hand. Kind of give it that nice flared appearance out there. All the little leaves on those palms. Kind of smudged a bit, but you know, they're off in the distance. So it doesn't really matter that extremely much, because whoa, don't drop your brush like I just did. Let you pick up some dirt you didn't want, as well as make some mess. Got some coming this way. You can see that I'm getting the bristles a little clumped. So you're going to go back to the palette and separate those back out again. We're going to add a little tree over here to make up for that. Several bristles that got away from me here, so this one's just gonna curve back this way. Alright, so that's kind of our distant islands. And I got some more oil running off of this bright red. It's got some oil separating out of it here, so I want that running off the edge of my palette. Alright, so I might have to do the same for this one here. Kind of one really bent down here. Catching a little bit of this light. Alright, so I'm going to bring down more Van Dyke Brown, darken this up a little bit. These might even be, trying to decide if I think these are close enough, if they should have some highlights, and I'm going to say yes, actually. So what I'm going to do is bring a little bit of the Indian yellow, a little cad yellow, actually just a touch of bright red. So see what I got going on here. I've got gonna make a little bit of an orange, bit lighter value, and this is going to be for the trunks. So we're going to take another liner brush, a little bit smaller than the first one. We only want to cover half of the trunks. Put a little bit of oil because I want this to stick on top. And if you've never been to the Caribbean and you get the chance to go, I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, this is far enough out. It's not really showing the lighter color all that much, but pick up a little bit more of the yellow, I think. Get closer to that sunlight. I don't even know if this is adding much of an appreciable effect, but sometimes it's the little details that you just barely notice that really bring a painting to life. And we'll just keep picking this up. we're going to take that dark value we had and we're going to take a small little brush. We're going to add a little bit of foliage out in here too. Palm trees aren't the only things that grow on those islands. They get a lot of smaller. These palm trees have to stick up in front of. Yeah, kind of not a really appreciable difference there, but so I'm going to take this small, flat, 3/4 inch brush. I'm going to pick up some of that green that I had over here for the palms, and we're just going to work in some kind of smaller palm. You can't really see much through this. It's just kind of a gives it a lot more life going on out in this little island out here, floating out here in the water. They don't actually float. They're usually attached to a reef or a volcanic run that has flowed over time and built these islands up. I'm going to step back a minute. I currently think that the water itself needs to be a little bit more bold, a little bit darker. And so before I go any further with any more islands, I'm going to add and darken this water. It isn't reading as much as water to me as I think it should be. So we're going to add a little more pigment. I'm going to leave some of these streaks in here to be the variations in the waves in the water. Now I'm going to start picking up some crimson. Get more crimson than what we got blue now on our brush. I really want to separate that sky from the water. And I just was not seeing it. So hopefully, when we pull that down, we'll get a better effect there. I'm going to pull this right down into the blue. Same thing on this side, right down into the blue. And I might need to add a touch of white in there. It needs to be darker because the water's not reflecting all of the light. It's eating some of that light. Little things happening out here under the water, making it darker and lighter. Do the same thing over here, bring this across. going on right there. Maybe a drop off. Maybe there's something in the water right there around these islands. I'm hoping I don't run out of brushes today, because I'm going to have to take a dry brush right over top of this again, since I don't clean as I go, other than what I can get off onto a paper towel. Alright, so we're going to go right across. In between the islands, we're going to make sure to go across this too. Try to keep the brush nice and straight. Now we're going to take a clean dry brush and we're going to work our way from the bottom up, going the whole way across. I hope I didn't totally destroy my shimmer in the water, but if I did, I'll just go back through and add some, which I might do anyway, because we've lost the yellow of the sun and the reflection of the water. Come on, let's get this nice and evened out here. Same thing here. What we're going to do is we're going to take Alright, I think that looks a lot better, but we are going to take a little bit of this brush we were using for the clouds. We're going to pick up a little bit of yellow. Just going to kind of dab some yellow in here. We're going to leave this to ripple around. And the reason I left this spot in the middle here is I'm going to take some yellow and some titanium white. More white than yellow. Kind of do the same thing, just kind of circle out where the sun is. And back and forth. And let that just kind of come on out. Now with that last dry brush, we're just going to go right over top of this, back and forth, working our way right up towards it. This is going to pull some of that paint back and forth and leave the ripples. Got to be a little bit more gentle. I'm pushing hard enough that I'm getting a little bit of the line from the support underneath the canvas. And now I'm just kind of pulling from the center out. Pick up a little bit of this island, bringing the water right up to it. There we are. Looks like we got our horizon a little bit. See if I can pull this straight across here, clean this up a little bit. We got a little bit of a bow in our horizon. And we have the same thing on the other side that I need to take care of. There's also one kind of in the middle here, but where our horizon gets a little bit too high in the center. this across this way. And again out here. Go ahead and clean that off. As you see these little things in your paintings, you should go right in and fix them. At the time, if you wait too long, you might forget they're there, and then they get left, and your painting is diminished for it. So, better to take care of them when you see them. Alright. Doing it again, getting that bark showing up. Be very gentle across that middle of your canvas. There's a support structure in there. You're gonna catch it in your painting. Alright. I think we're looking much more like a watery scene. Much better, much improved. Alright, so now we need to bring down a little more. Add some Prussian green to this. I'm gonna make it a new island value that is gonna be closer to us here. So we're just gonna pull this down, cut across, and decide where the next set of islands are. I think we've got an island that kind of lives here. These ones are a bit closer. Needs to go back into the water as well. They're just small little islands, several trees growing on them. They really break up the scenery. This one's got a little bit of a cliff here. Not just a smooth. We're going to have this one here just a little bit closer. And I'm still working on learning laying out the perspective better. My paintings don't have as much depth as I would like to add into them, so still trying to make that work out for me. Back to our liner brush with the same darker values. So we've got some palm trees that live here. And they grow every which way out here in these various winds competing with each other for light, getting blown around as they grow. Some of them actually manage to grow straight, most of them do not. They're very flexible trees, sway a lot in that ocean breeze. We'll leave that one there like that. We'll have this one come across. Just a little bit. Oh, getting a little too little paint on there. Got to pick up some more. And so we're just going to nicely, calmly put these in. But it's amazing how quickly, how nicely the paint flows. How much character you can add just by putting in a few little trees here and there. A lot of interactions with crisscrossing trunks here and there. Makes for some interesting shapes for people to look at in the painting. Oops, kind of got that pulled a little bit. So yeah. Now we're going to take a bigger fan brush. We'll move up to a number 4 here. These ones are a little bit closer. Actually, I didn't end up using the whole of that. But we're going to bring in some Prussian green. And I'm just going to use this pretty much straight. Kind of the same thing. Start in the center and just kind of pull away. Do a little twist of your brush as you pull out from that center. This will give your palms that individual leaf feel, as the palms are made up of a bunch of tiny leaves. And we got, sometimes there's bits of them missing. We didn't get that leaf feel to that one. If you have to keep separating out the bristles, go back to your palette and make sure you do that. And it's really that little twist as you pull that kind of gives it that individual leaf feel. Back here with his own sets of palms. Here. And you just work your way around the tree, starting all at the center. Get to go and decorate these other ones as well. That one got a little bit carried away. And it's that starting from the center and fanning out that kind of gives them their unique appearance. So make sure you get that captured. And this painting might actually make a great gift for people who like to go on cruises and not get to see, or vacations in the Caribbean or warmer areas in your part of the world. Not get to see these all the time, but they really love them. Give them those reminders of those trips they were able to make, or the trip they might make someday.